welcome everyone. We have the Super 7 Super Kaiju, Godzilla -1, and Burning Godzilla 95. So this is Super 7's Super Kaiju, kind of like a deluxe line, not similar to like the Thundercats Deluxe, where you get one of the ultimate figures with less accessories. These are scaled smaller than the Godzilla Ultimates. These are more like a 5-6 inch figure range, and they come with little accessories. So these are pretty much, you get these from Target. I don't know if you can get these from Super7.com, but these are kind of like an exclusive to Target right now. So far, we've gotten two. We got a Mecha Godzilla and regular Godzilla. I think that regular Godzilla is like also a 95 version. So we're getting a follow-up with Burning Godzilla, and then we've got a very, very most modern Godzilla here. So they come, at least when you buy these online, they come in these little bags. And if you're one of those people that keep the packaging, these are some nice packages. Specifically, well, I guess they're both awesome and for different reasons. Like the 95 Godzilla has got the black box background with this silver metallic lettering. And it's kind of like this gold look. You know, there's like a mustard yellow on the inside. It's very, I don't know, this is like 80s rap colors to me. This is like Run DMC for some reason. I don't know why. And then Godzilla -1, these colors, you'll probably notice them used prominently in the posters and other artwork for the movie. So both are just kind of like awesome, and like they don't pair together at all, which is interesting because these, these came together as a sale item, and I would have thought they would have been pairing, Godzilla with a bad guy, and this way we get two Godzillas. So not complaining, but he's got a villain that he fights. He doesn't, I don't know if you're just gonna get him like citizens to fight, but whatever. Still glad to have these. So quick look at the box for each. And yeah, it shows us our previous releases. That's interesting. So that's 89 Godzilla, 93 Mecha Godzilla. We've got our 95 Burning Godzilla. All right. And then got -1. And everybody should be familiar with this -1 artwork. Okay, so let's get these out of the box. We'll go over -1 packaging real quick. He's got a little train, busted up train in there. And then just want to show this off. Here's a nice little background. So you could use that for some diorama stuff if you wanted to. And then you got your Burning Godzilla. He's got a building piece. And then he's just got this mustard yellow backdrop. Still nice, but just kind of plain. So here they are out of the box. These guys are pretty small. Just gonna put like a Black Series figure here. They're not quite 6 inch, so they're more like 5 inch. They do have a good bit of articulation. They're not the most articulated things ever, but they're not like your $10 Bandai Godzilla figures either. So they've got neck rotation, their mouths open, there's a disc hinge, shoulders, there is no bicep swivel, although -1 has a elbow swivel. Burning, he's got a swivel, but it's at the bottom of the joint. Kind of weird. So it effectively keeps him from having a bicep swivel. I don't know why they did that. It was a weird design. The hips are ball joint. They got some pretty big sockets, so there's going to be a good bit of movement. They got disc hinge knees. Range is a little limited. And there is disc hinge with swivel feet. So you get a good, decent bit of articulation. And like any other Super 7 figure, it's a good idea to warm the joints. These are pretty stiff. It's the same plastic that they use for their ultimates. So, before you get to doing some extreme posing, especially his jaw just now, that was really difficult to open. And especially like these elbow joints, because they're, the thinner areas, and those are going to be the areas that are going to more likely to, plastic's going to be fused and maybe some breakage happens or something. So um, just something to kind of be aware of. So let's talk about -1 real quick. This is a pretty cool looking figure. The tail is rubbery and it's got a bendy wire. There's not a ton of expressiveness. Well, I guess there is, but the tail's not going to go up very far, but side to side, it's going to go up quite a bit. The proportions are a little squat. So like if you blew this up to make it bigger, it's just overall, it's just kind of like squished. Not chibi, but not one for one. The spikes are nice. Man, I would even say the coloring might be a little bit better than the Ultimates. Like there's just more in more places, I think. It's kind of my impression. But the spikes, they are, they're not a hard plastic, but because of the way because of the sculpt and design, they are pointy. Like this is sharp. You're not going to cut yourself, but it's not like really rubbery either. But yeah, the mouth opens, the eye. Let's see if I can zoom in here. The eye paint is pretty good. Yeah, just overall, this is a pretty nice figure. And then he's got a train that you can get into his mouth, kind of, sort of. Not really. I don't think he really bite. Yeah, there we go. I don't think he really bites down on it, but kind of grabs it. And the fingernails are pretty pointed. I would think this might be an area of breakage if you try to like mush this too much, but he can hold the train, so that's cool. So that's -1. And then we got Burning. So Burning Godzilla comes with a little building. It looks like another piece goes on top, so that's encouraging. The eye work on this guy looks pretty nice. Another thing is that the chest is translucent. I don't know how well that's being picked up here on camera, but it is translucent. Maybe the arms are translucent too. Maybe that's why they did the articulation the way they did. Yeah, the arms are translucent. Torso is translucent. Thighs are not. This is just painted. So yeah, that does kind of explain some of the weirdness. And then the tail, so it kind of attaches. Is probably a ball joint here. It does seem like there's a bendy wire, but this thing is kind of short and stubby. You're not going to get this to like curl upwards. Side to side, probably more. Um, It's a very strong joint here. I don't know what this is about. It's almost like there's like a ball joint here on the inside. It's definitely got a very purposeful point, articulation point here. So it's kind of interesting. But that is our two figures. All right, and to show them off with the other recent releases, very similar look, very similar size, very similar proportions and articulation scheme. So getting these guys is your opportunity to build a nice little set and diorama without, the 80, 90, $120 ultimate figures. All right, and not really a fair comparison. But here they are with their Ultimates counterparts. Just so you can see, okay, this is what you're getting. This guy's $90, this guy's 30 or 35. 35 $90. Probably more now because these are no longer available. So you're gonna have to find them on eBay or some place like that. But big size difference, proportions are different. Sculpting is a little bit softer on these. Just completely different product altogether. So for me, I like these. The price is a little bit of a stretch, but knowing that the amount that they're making is probably on the low end of what retail supports, I kind of understand the pricing. For me, I'm mainly looking forward to getting things that we don't normally get in lines, like the villains and the supporting characters like Ghidorah and Mothra and Rodan and characters like that. Even the weird UFO alien from Godzilla 2000. Like, it would be good to get some figures of those, and if that's the way that we can do it, that's great. And the friendliness of having a smaller size, it's not going to take up like an entire shelf, to collect all the villains. Instead, you have two shelves worth of Godzilla figures, and the size also kind of leads to these kind of being the perfect little desk figures. If if you work from home, or even if you don't, take these into the office, play with them while you're watching TV. Like, these are the perfect size to have some figures to mess with, where I kind of feel like the Ultimates, they're big, they're impressive, they're fun to look at and mess with, but you're going to put them on the shelf and look at them. These, you're more likely to pick these up and like mess around with them and pose them and stuff. So that's a key point. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. And as always, tune into more videos coming up. Thank you.